Every once and again there comes a game with unrealistically high expectations. It's a game that needs very little introduction, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The first Modern Warfare earned acclaim and the respect of the whole gaming community, both casual and hardcore. It was and still is one of the best multiplayer games of all time, hence the extremely high expectations for its successor. So, the basics. Modern Warfare 2 is an extremely fast-paced first-person shooter based in present day. It's divided into three main elements: the single player, multiplayer, and Spec Ops. Let's get into multiplayer first because I consider that the primary element to Modern Warfare. What made the first Modern Warfare multiplayer particularly special was the RPG element Infinity Ward had brought to the FPS experience. It was the first time gaining experience and leveling up your character and weapons had been implemented so well into a shooter. Leveling up made multiplayer experience that more addictive, and I had to say that addictive is a pretty descriptive word for Modern Warfare 2. I don't drink coffee and I don't smoke, but Modern Warfare 2 is my drug of choice. The level cap in multiplayer mode has been up to 70, and there are enough unlockables and challenges to keep you playing the game until your early retirement days. You will be overwhelmed at first by all the new stuff, call signs, allocates, and emblems, and so forth, but I'm pretty sure you'll be spending countless hours playing this game, so there'll be plenty of time to get acquainted with all the new features. There's also an insane amount of weapons and high-tech tactical equipment that will appeal to members of the NRA as well as 99% of the male population. In Modern Warfare, you can level up your equipment, level up your perks, and I'm pretty sure you can level up your level up. There's more than a dozen killstreak bonuses, missiles, helicopters, Harriers, bombers, heavy weapons, turrets, and a nuke to put an end to whimpering fools of opponents. Luckily, obtaining a nuke is not easy as you need a 25 kill streak to achieve this. I've played multiplayer for about 20 hours now and never seen one used. The new killstreak bonuses are cool and all, but they can be an extreme pain in the ass when they're directed at you. Several maps are quite open, and there's not much cover to hide away from carpet bombings and helicopter strikes. And after being leveled down by the same hovering Harrier a third time in a row, you find yourself running for the hills. By the time you reach the hills, you've been mowed down by a turret and blown up by a missile. So it can get a bit frustrating, and that's where death streaks come in. When you do find yourself catching bullets with your face and spawning beside minigun-wielding helicopters, death streak bonuses will help you get back into the game. You will be getting health bonuses and other time-limited perks that ease the never-ending pain of being a noob. Several game modes have been added to the multiplayer experience, including Capture the Flag and many new variations of older game modes. There's also a third-person mode, but the lack of a good cover system makes it feel a bit slapped on. There are 16 multiplayer maps that are varied and well-rounded for 9 vs 9 battles, as well as smaller free-for-all deathmatches. Spec Ops is basically tower defense in first-person shooter mode. You can go at it alone or with a friend to fend off against multiple waves of enemy attacks. It's somewhat similar to the firefight mode in Halo ODST. Spec Ops is definitely good fun in co-op mode, and it's something I can recommend especially for people who are new to the franchise. It works as great practice before delving into multiplayer, where noobs are plastered to the walls. I would know because I plaster them and have a lot of fun in the process. The Spec Ops challenges in Hardened or Veteran mode are a definite challenge for even the most experienced Modern Warfare vets. I really enjoy the different challenges, and the new game mode is a nice addition to the franchise. While many consider multiplayer to be the primary element of Modern Warfare, the single-player experience is one of the most visceral and exciting of the year. The story continues on the complicated conflict that began in the first game, and you once again play as several characters on different fronts of the war. PFC Allen answered the Call of Duty first with some simple basic training before he smacked into the thick of battle. And when the battle starts in Modern Warfare 2, it never ceases. The single-player campaign is one thrilling ride. The game is filled with amazing set pieces in locations scattered around several corners of the world. Some pretty controversial locations as well. And there are some very controversial scenes that I will not be spoiling, but it's clear Infinity Ward has aimed to shock, and I think they've definitely succeeded. There are a few complaints about the single-player game. One, that it's short. If you cruise through in regular mode, you will be completing the game in under 6 hours. Secondly, the story relies heavily on the player knowing and remembering the events of the first game, and I have to admit, I loved Modern Warfare 1, but for the love of me, I can't remember the small details of the plot. It's also pretty apparent that Infinity Ward has contrived the story around the interesting set pieces they've come up with, and it translates into a bit detached levels that don't always seem to carry the story. But these are small complaints, as I enjoyed every second of the single-player campaign. The production values of Modern Warfare 2 are amazing. The game features a score from Hans Zimmer, who you may remember from movies like The Dark Knight, Gladiator, and The Rock. It's the first video game Hans Zimmer has done, and I'm hoping it isn't the last. The game also features an amazing cast of actors. The first levels are opened by the gloomy voice of Lance Henriksen, who you may recall as Bishop from the Aliens movies or Frank Black from one of my favorite shows, Millennium.
We are the most powerful military force in the history of man. Every fight is our fight. Because what happens over here matters over there. We don't get to sit one out.
The game also features voices from these guys. All in all, Modern Warfare 2 has a pretty impressive cast, and it truly translates into the game. The time of bad voice acting in games is clearly coming to an end. The visual presentation of the game is stellar. The game runs on a tweaked Modern Warfare 2 engine that looks great on all platforms. Character models are improved from the first game, and the advances in texture streaming makes for even richer and varied environments. Lighting and shadows are smooth, and the game runs at a high and stable frame rate that never dips. Also, explosions and physics look better than ever, and Infinity Ward has really put a lot of attention into small detail that makes up the world of Modern Warfare 2. While the PC version is obviously the best looking version, the game console counterparts don't tread far behind, and technically Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best games made to date. To wrap things up, with the exception of the PC dedicated server issue, Infinity Ward has really done a good job listening to the community and brought more of everything you could ever want to all aspects of the game. The multiplayer especially is an embarrassment of riches. It may be a bit too much for the casual gamer, but for the hardcore, Modern Warfare 2 is Christmas on a stick. Or in this case, on a disc. Anyways, Modern Warfare 2 is a game that will make a lot of games look bad. The first Modern Warfare raised the bar for FPS games, and the second one pushes the bar even further away from the competition. So far, it's estimated that the game has sold over 10 million units, so you can multiply that by $60 and calculate how much money Modern Warfare 2 is making. But kudos to Infinity Ward. After the massive success of the original, they could have put fish sticks in a box with the Modern Warfare 2 logo, and it would have still moved 10 million units. But they didn't. They actually created a game that's better than the original. Modern Warfare 2 is more an evolution than a revolution, but it succeeds on improving on almost everything that was good in the first place. I have to finish up this review now because I have to get back to the game. Hands down the best game of the year, and I give it a 9.4 out of 10. Catch you later, LP signing out.